us, him walking across the desert with camels carrying salt. It was a 2-month journey. So we're going to take a look at this primary source, and our filter that we want to kind of look at this document is looking for evidence to show the Sahara Desert was a dangerous place. So you'll be given a claim for our assessment that states the Sahara Desert was a dangerous place to be, something along those lines. And so I want you as a student to be able to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt with strong evidence that to be true. You can, so as we go through this document, you're looking for pieces of evidence that you can talk about, show, explain why it was dangerous for people. So let's take a look here. Introduction to who Ibn was. Ibn Battuta's journey to Mali was the last major trip of his life. He had come home to Tangier after his visit to China in 1349, after being away for 25 years. He soon took off again to visit Mali. He took off from Fez to Saljamasa, a desert port on the northern edge of the Sahara. At Saljamasa, he joined a caravan to travel across the desert. In the video, it kind of picked up as if he was like in the middle of the desert where they're mining the salt. Obviously, he doesn't start there. He started actually to the very north of Africa and at a desert port, meaning it's like the desert basically ended at the sea. And so he took a boat, got off the boat, and then he had to travel to that, across the whole entire Sahara Desert. So let's read the document, look for evidence that shows the desert was dangerous. In the box at the bottom of the paper, find a quote from the article that proves the desert was dangerous, or I would say multiple quotes. So here, find a quote, I'm going to update this, multiple quotes from the article that proves the desert was dangerous. Number 2 says, explain how that quote proves the desert was dangerous. This is the analysis. A lot of us, we need to work on our analysis, your own words, explaining how the evidence supports the claim. So tell me why that quote is shows danger or proves your claim to be true. So this will be your analysis. This is your, number 1, this is your evidence. And number 2 is you're explaining how that quote proves that desert was dangerous. This is your analysis. So let's take a look. This is, he wrote a lot more of this. This is excerpt. It says, I traveled in a caravan whose leader was Abu Muhammad Yat. Come on, computer screen. What's going on here? Okay. Abu Muhammad Yadakin al-Mustafa. God be merciful to him. There were a number of merchants from Saljamasa and other places in the caravan. So he wasn't by himself. He was other traders, other merchants. Your goal as a merchant to make money. You buy something for one price, and you're going to sell it for more than what you bought it for. After 25 days, we reached Taghaza. So the first leg of the trip, 25 days, and then we reached this town. So that Taghaza, we spent 3 days there under strain. Under strain. Like what a strain is, I'm not sure. Maybe you're wondering. Control-Shift-Y, and you can look up different words. Let's see why my computer is maybe slow. Here it is. Strain. To make a strenuous or unusual great effort. I stopped and listened, straining my ears for any sound. You might strain to run a mile or to finish something that's mentally taxing on your mind. Okay, so it takes a lot of effort, a lot of energy. So they were at this Taghaza, and they were not there underneath a 5-star resort. Definitely there was maybe some resources, but they're lacking. So one reason they were under strain was the water is brackish. So let's take a look here at the bottom. It says we should have, where is... thought there was a terms here, but let's look at here. Control-Shift-Y, brackish. Slightly salty, as in the mixture of river water and seawater. A cup of brackish water. Salt. Who here you've been in the ocean and you've accidentally swallowed or sniffed salt water? Terrible, isn't it? You won't survive by drinking that, okay? So that is like super salty water. Now you might have some water that has a little bit of salt. Who here you've added salt to your water before, or maybe gargled salt water for maybe like trying to get your throat to feel better? Okay, adding some salt to water, you can drink it. It can be actually maybe healthy to help you retain water. Your body needs salt to help it not to actually hold water. So you do need it. So here the water is brackish. It almost sounds like maybe it was a little bit too much. Yeah. So the water is brackish and is a place with the most flies. Who here, if there's a fly in your house, you have to hunt it down right away? Who here, that's you? Yeah, okay, that's me. Who here, you don't mind the flies? It's all right. You're not going to go hunt it down right away. Okay.
As it's not during dinner,
I can't stand flies. So I'm the person who's like, shoo fly, get away from my food. So there's the most flies. So the brackish water, a lot of flies. Here the water's taken in for our journey into the desert which lies beyond. It is 10 days travel with no water or only rarely. I highlighted that in yellow because I think this could be evidence to show danger. If you only if you're in this area for 10 days, this travel, this leg of the trip, and there's no water to rely on, or rarely, you could be in a world of hurt. You could be in the world of hurt. So highlight that in yellow if it's not highlighted already for you. We, however, did find plentiful water in pools left by the rain. So if you're lucky, you might find some water. One day we found a pool between two hills of a rock which was sweet. We quenched our thirst and washed our clothes. Sandstorm. In those days, we used to go in front of the caravan, and when we found a suitable place, we pastured the animals there. Every once in a while, you might actually find some things growing where there's something for your animals to eat. Now it says we used to go in front of the caravan. Who here, if you're on a trip with your family, you're on a hike, you're traveling through, I don't know, just think about someplace you're hiking. You like to run ahead and kind of look and explore. Who are my explorers? You kind of don't stay with your parents. You might go ahead, or might you you're the one kind of trailing behind because you found something, and they're like, "Hey, come on, keep up." We went on doing this till a man called Ibn Zuri, different Ibn, was lost in the desert. After that, I did not go ahead or fall behind. I did not go ahead or fall behind because I don't want to be lost in the desert. In the video, there was a sandstorm, and he thought to himself after he lost his friend, I'm going to stick with the caravan. I'm not going to travel ahead anymore. I'm not going to get lost. So something in there could be evidence that you might want to highlight to show danger. We met a caravan on the way. They told us that some men had become separated from them, likely because of the sandstorm. They found one of them dead under the bushes that grow in the sand. We then came to Tassarala, where there is underground water. Underground water, probably not brackish, probably good water. Caravans stop there for 3 days. They rest, repair, and fill their water skins, kind of modern day hydro flask, but it was made out of animal skin. And sew onto them coarse bags to protect them from the wind. The Takshifs sent forward from here. So these Takshifs were professional travelers of the desert. They kind of mentioned some people who lived in the desert for thousands of years. These are these people. They help people get across the desert. They were like your guide. You may be gone on vacation. You have a guide that kind of shows you around. These are the guides. You want these people on your side. You're probably not going to make it across the desert without their guidance. So they sent forward from here. So the Takshif is a name given to any man of the Masafu whom the people of the caravan hire to go ahead of them to Walada. Walada is the next nearest town with letters, asking their friends to come 4 days' journey to meet them with water. So who here you played the trust game where you have somebody They stand behind you, and then you fall backwards, and you have to trust that they catch you. It's like the trust fall. Here is a little bit more than that. You travel to this place, and you only have so much water with you. And so this takshif, they're able to move faster. Maybe they can survive on less water, but you send them ahead with a letter. The letter says, "Dear aunt and uncle, we are traveling in the desert. We need you to meet us at the spot that the takshif tells you. Bring water. Love you. Hope you're not on vacation and you received this letter." So you're basically giving a letter to the takshif, and he has all these letters. He's going to the next town, and he's going to hand these out, and then you're crossing your fingers, praying that when you're traveling, you're trusting that somebody's traveling to meet you in the middle. Because if they don't meet you in the middle, 50-50 chance you're not going to make it. So you're hoping they're there, they're not on vacation, they didn't pass away, they're still in their good graces, they still like you enough to travel. So asking their friends to come 4 days journey to meet them with water. It's not like, hey, pick me up at the airport, I'm coming into town, you have to drive 30 minutes to get them. No, you're asking them to go for 4 days journey and bring water. So there's probably some evidence in there you might highlight to kind of show this is pretty dangerous. You're putting a lot of trust in somebody. If they don't show up, what might happen? Sometimes the takshif perishes. They don't make it. And you're like, takshif, you better make it. Here's an extra $100. In the desert, and the people of Walada know nothing of the caravan. You're thinking they're showing up and they're going to meet you at the spot. They're not meeting you. The takshif never made it. And its people, or the most of them, perished too. So, hey, you're traveling and you get to the spot. They're not there. What do? You can't turn back. You're like, we're going to try to make it. Hopefully the water. Hey, you just sip on the water. If I see you take a gulp of the water, bad things might happen to siblings. They might get in a real fight. So they're trying to just, hopefully they're going to make it. We'll see. So there are many demons in the desert. Now, do you think they're real demons in the desert, or they're maybe referring to something else? So when you are, if you ever had your wisdom teeth taken out, who here you have had your wisdom teeth taken out? Who here they said that you were telling some funny stories when you came off the pain meds? You probably don't remember it. Okay, so pain meds, wisdom teeth, coming out of that, you kind of are delusional. You're seeing things, you say things, you're almost like dreaming.
I have something that my dad, when he got his wisdom teeth pulled out, basically he was like, find the seatbelt because it was,
He couldn't find the seatbelt.
Yeah.
My brother, he said he wanted to go to Blockbuster. He had these ice packs on his jaws that are kind of wrapped around his head, and he wanted to go get this movie, and so that's what he wanted to do. And they were like, and he was just like, he was really kind of out there, so we went there, and he's like trying to find his movie. It was kind of he was a little bit delusional. He should have went home and rested. So here, these demons are people like, you're so dehydrated, you don't have enough nourishment. You start to see things. You start to kind of like be delusional. So if the takshif is alone, they play tricks on him and delude him until he loses his way and perishes. There's no road to be seen in the desert, no track, only sand blown about by the wind. You see mountains of sand in one place, then you see that they have moved to another. So even for the people who are experts, they may not make it. There's probably some things in here you could actually highlight and show the danger of traveling across, especially if your takshif is start to see demons. A guide is someone who had frequented the desert repeatedly and has keen intelligence. And this is what it gets kind of strange. And he says, a strange thing I saw is that our guide was blind in one eye. And diseased in the other. So one eye is blind, and this one here does not look too healthy. But he knew the route better than anyone else. How's that possible? He wasn't relying on what he sees. He almost had it memorized by just like feeling, or just like he's walked this direction. He might, I don't know how, but he's able to. He was the best. He was the Michael Jordan, the LeBron James of. Even though you might judge a book by its cover, he's able to get there and back. I've watched documentaries. I've seen people who are blind, who are able to move about their house and cook, make eggs, like go to the neighborhood store and back and operate without seeing. And I every once in a while will play these kind of games in my mind. I'm gonna close my eyes. I'm walking down the sidewalk. I'm gonna say, how long can I just close my eyes and not let the fear and that I'm gonna like misstep, and see how far I can go, just to kind of emulate what would it be like if I was blind. And I might get from here to like that wall and then have anxiety built where like, okay, I need to open my eyes. I'm not going to walk into something. So this Takshif that was basically blind, he just knew by maybe had it memorized step by step, which I can't explain it, but he knew what he was doing. The desert is luminous. Okay, it's bright. Let me lost sun. You can't really find shade. Radiant. One chest is dilated. One is in good spirits and is safe from robbers. Hey, this is a place where you're going to see any danger from anywhere. If someone's going to try to rob you, you're going to see them from far away. Like, hey, I see you over here. They're not going to be able to just sneak up on you. So, list quotes in the box below and explain how the desert was dangerous. Okay, so that's where we're going to stop. And I would say there's probably at least 4 quotes you can put in here and start to build some analysis. Explain why it's dangerous. Okay, so who here you want to have your quiz question basically done when it comes to the quiz day? About 5, 6 of us? Okay. This is where you do that. This is why during the quiz, some people are like staring at the screen and some people are like, I'm ready to read my book or do my next thing, because you've done the work ahead of time. So go back, be a critical reader, read through this again, and find something that you can like, oh, that's a great piece of evidence, and I can easily explain in my own words, multiple sentences, why that is dangerous. That's what you want. You want to find that type of evidence, which makes it easy for you to talk about. Makes it easy for you to talk about. And then when you start your quote, you should say something where it came from, something like this. So, Ibn Battuta tells the reader about the desert declaring, and you might put the quote in there. So use some verbiage here to start your quote. Or you might say, in the article, Ibn Battuta journey